There's a moment in every Bargirl relationship where nothing officially ends, but everything stops. There are no more arguments, no more goodbyes, no final message that explains everything. Just a quiet understanding that you're the only one still holding the shape of the relationship together. This is the exit point, and most people don't recognize it until they're already past it. At first, you think something went wrong, a misunderstanding, the wrong words at the wrong time, stress, so you ask questions, and the answers sound reasonable at first, even sincere. But then you notice something. You notice you're asking the same questions in different ways. At the heart of all your inquiries is the central question: what's wrong? The answers seem thoughtful at first, but they never land fully. You recognize the same reassurances repackaged in different ways, different variations of the same explanations. You realize it's the same future talk without any traction, and that's when it starts to sink in. She didn't need time to heal the relationship. She needed time to move on fully. At this point, your effort stops being felt, not because you've stopped trying, but because your effort became assumed. Your presence doesn't bring closeness, but when you pull back, nothing changes. Effort no longer proves anything. When your effort disappears into the floor, you're not building anything anymore. You're maintaining something that's already hollow. This is where something subtle happens. You start managing yourself. You soften your questions, delay your own needs, and choose silence over honesty. Not because the conversation will feel unfair, but because you already know how it will end. You still care, but you're trying not to make things worse. You don't want to be difficult. You don't want to push and be the reason everything breaks. So you shrink. And little by little, you disappear inside the relationship. Most people think leaving happens when the pain gets too big, but that's not the exit point. For many, that is simply the beginning of the end. The exit point comes when staying requires you to lie to yourself. When clarity finally arrives, it is not the start or end of the pain. In many ways, it feels heavier than heartbreak. At least heartbreak has movement. Clarity requires stillness that makes you look in the mirror. You keep waiting for something, for her to change her ways, to explain, to finally choose you fully. Then you notice how far you've walked alone. And then one night, without drama, without anger, you realize no one is coming back for you. Not because they don't never cared, but because they already moved on a long time ago without saying it out loud. Already over doesn't mean there wasn't love. It means the relationship no longer responds to care. Effort doesn't change outcomes. Words don't turn into any movement in the relationship. Love exists without any investment. Already over means you're investing in something that can no longer meet you where you're at. And deep down, most men knew that truth long before it became painfully obvious. Leaving at this point isn't giving up. It's refusing to disappear into a relationship that no longer serves you. At this stage, clarity doesn't demand action. It demands that you stop negotiating with what you already see. Some endings don't need closure conversations. They don't need explanations. They don't need one last settlement. They need honesty, not with her, with yourself. If you're there, you're not too late. You're not too early. You're right where you need to be at that given moment.